In a small, quiet village surrounded by dusty roads and old houses, lived a young girl named Mira. Her home was tiny. The roof leaked during the rainy season, and the walls were cracked with age. Life was never easy for her family. Her father worked as a daily laborer, carrying heavy bricks at construction sites from morning until evening. Some days he found work, some days he didn't. Her mother stitched clothes for neighbors, sitting for hours beside a small sewing machine. Money was always short. But despite the struggles, Mira carried something special in her heart. A dream. Every evening, as the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills, airplanes would fly across the sky high above the village. Whenever Mira heard the loud sound of an airplane, she would run outside and look up at the sky with sparkling eyes. While other children watched the plane for a few seconds and continued playing, Mira would stand there for minutes, imagining something impossible. She dreamed of becoming a pilot. One day she told her classmates about her dream. "I want to fly airplanes," she said with excitement. But instead of encouragement, laughter filled the classroom. "A pilot," one boy said. "You can barely afford books. How will you fly an airplane?" Another laughed. Even some adults in the village shook their heads. "Dreams like that are not for poor people," they said. Those words hurt Mira deeply. But they did not break her spirit. Instead, they made her stronger. Every morning, Mira walked nearly 5 kilometers to reach her school. Her shoes were worn out, and her school bag was old. Sometimes she carried borrowed books because her family couldn't afford new ones. But she never complained. At night, when the electricity in the village went out, Mira refused to stop studying. She would take her books and sit under the dim, yellow light of a street lamp near her house. The road was quiet, the wind was cold, and mosquitoes buzzed around her. Yet she continued reading, solving problems, and preparing for exams. Night after night, year after year, her parents watched her silently. They couldn't give her wealth or comfort, but they gave her something powerful, their belief. Her father once told her, "We may be poor today, but your dreams are not poor." Those words stayed in her heart forever. Years passed. Mira studied harder than anyone else. Slowly, her efforts began to show results. She scored excellent marks in school and later earned a scholarship for further studies. But the road ahead was still difficult. Becoming a pilot required training, money, and determination. Many times she felt scared and unsure. But every time she looked at the sky, she remembered the little girl who once stood on a dusty road staring at airplanes. So Mira began working part-time while continuing her studies. She tutored younger students, helped teachers after school, and saved every small amount she earned. Slowly, little by little, she gathered enough money to apply for pilot training programs. Seeing her dedication and excellent academic record, a training academy offered her financial assistance and a student loan. It wasn't easy. There were still struggles and sleepless nights, but Mira had come too far to stop. Step by step, year by year, she moved closer to the sky she had dreamed about since childhood. And finally, the day arrived when she sat inside the cockpit of an airplane for the very first time. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from emotion. She remembered the small house, the long walks to school, the nights under the streetlight, and all the people who once laughed at her dream. Soon, the airplane began moving down the runway. The engines roared. And within seconds the aircraft lifted into the sky. As the plane rose higher and higher above the clouds, Mira looked out of the window. Far below, somewhere in the distance, was the tiny village where her journey had started. The same sky she once looked up at with hope was now the path she traveled every day. And in that moment, Mira realized something powerful. Dreams don't belong only to the rich. Dreams belong to those who are brave enough to chase them, no matter where you come from. No matter how difficult life seems, if you keep believing, keep working, and refuse to give up, one day, your dreams will take flight too.